Another crack in its uneasy establishment. With this Roy, Amit Mukherjee for DD India.
U.S. President Donald Trump has warned Hamas to comply with the ceasefire or face a brutal allied force as U.S. allies stand ready to intervene in Gaza. Meanwhile, the U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel to reinforce the fragile truce after 2 Israeli soldiers were killed. Aid supplies to Gaza are increasing, but the UN World Food Programme, it says that they still fall short of targets. Rabindra Chauhan has the details.
US President Donald Trump on Tuesday warned Hamas to comply or face a brutal allied forces. He said many US allies are prepared to intervene in Gaza with heavy force, though it's not yet needed. Despite ongoing violence, officials from Israel, Hamas, Egypt, Qatar, and the US have reaffirmed their commitment to the Gaza ceasefire. Meanwhile, US Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel to reinforce the fragile ceasefire brokered by Trump. His visit follows renewed tensions after 2 Israeli soldiers were killed by Hamas.
We're here at the Civilian Military Cooperation Center, which we are announcing the opening of. You have Israelis and Americans working hand in hand to try to begin the plan to rebuild Gaza, to implement a long-term peace.
Hamas have freed all 20 living hostages and returned 13 bodies, with 15 still in Gaza. In response, Israel has released around 2,000 Palestinian detainees, including 250 long serving inmates, and returned 165 bodies to Gaza. Meanwhile, aid supplies into Gaza are increasing under the ceasefire, with about 750 metric tons of food entering daily. However, the UN World Food Programme says this is still far below the target of 2,000 tons per day.
The ceasefire started on the 11th of October. We've now have over 530 trucks into Gaza supporting bakeries, nutrition programs, general food distributions. So far, we've had over 6,700 tons of food. That's enough for close to 500,000 people for 2 weeks.
The ceasefire, in effect since October 10, aims to lay the groundwork for Gaza's long-term stability. Mediators like the US, Egypt, and Qatar are now pushing ahead with the next phase of President Donald Trump's 20-point Gaza peace plan. A US backed international force is proposed to secure Gaza. Up to 200 US troops may provide support outside Gaza, with possible contributions from Egypt, Qatar, UAE, Turkey, Indonesia, and Azerbaijan, while details remain undecided. Trump's plan calls for Hamas and other factions to disarm. Hamas has rejected this and says the issue has not been officially raised in talks. A transitional body of independent Palestinian technocrats is proposed to govern Gaza. Hamas supports the idea with conditions. Israel firmly rejects any Hamas role. Further, Israeli pullback depend on security assessment. Hamas demands full withdrawal. It is also insists its government employees remain in place, something Israel opposes. The plan also called for reforming the Palestinian Authority, though specifics are unclear. While the plan hints at a future pathway to Palestinian self-determination, Prime Minister Netanyahu continues to reject the idea of a Palestinian state. Bureau Report, DD India.
In a dramatic escalation ahead of the APEC summit in South Korea, the U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened sweeping trade penalties against China, including 157% tariff on all imports starting November 1. Now, the move comes amid rising tensions over rare earths, aircraft parts, and global supply chain dominance. While Trump flexes economic muscle, Beijing responds with cautious diplomacy, signaling a potential path to negotiation. Here's the report.